Why, good morning. Come on in. Lots going on today. Wednesday, November the 6th. Here's what we're working on. Donald Trump has been elected as the 47th president of the United States.
Hamilton's light rail transit system is a step closer to being built.
And Lady Gaga is releasing a brand new album. No matter how you feel what went on down south, I know you feel pretty good to see that guy back on the show. Brian Wood is back.
We're so happy you're back with us.
Obrigado for that. Thank you. And hola, bom dia, which is hello and wonderful day, nice day.
In Portuguese.
In Portuguese, yeah. I learned a little bit of Portuguese. My voice is coming back. It's getting better. I'm not squeaking anymore.
Is that a Portuguese flu?
I don't know. It was some kind of bug. You know, when you travel and you're on plane, even though I wore a mask on the plane, you still get a little bit of a cold, and that's what I got here. But anyhow, we're back at it. Yay!
Great to have you back.
Awesome. It's nice to be back. It really is. And mild. Wow. We got to 23 degrees yesterday, and windy. Boy, we had wind gusts to 72 kilometers an hour yesterday. We're going to have winds again today. It'll be fairly mild again today, like we'll hit 20. I mean, we're 17 degrees to start the morning. We should be around 1 this time of year to start the day, but we do have some showers this morning. They'll taper off, and it'll just be a fairly cloudy sky. As I said, right now we're 17 degrees, and it is a bit of a breeze. We'll talk about that coming up. Looking at traffic, we have no collisions, still some construction, but we do have wet roads this morning because of the rainfall that we've been getting throughout the, mid-overnight to still right now. So nothing to see there. There's Centennial Parkway. It's building a little bit, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Normally this time of the morning starts to get a little bit slow toward North Shore, and really not a lot here, but you can see the rain on the camera lens here at Appleby Line. So a wet start to the day today. We will, of course, give you complete details on weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
All right, thanks, Brian. Let's get to it. Donald Trump has been elected as the 47th president of the United States after an extraordinary comeback for a former president. Let's bring in Simone Gavros, who joins us live from Niagara Falls with the latest on this, because through the overnight hours it was not confirmed, but early this morning it was declared by a number of networks down south.
Yeah, Tim, those numbers just came in shortly, and we saw yesterday the pollings were showing that those numbers were very close. But now, as you mentioned this morning, Donald Trump has been elected the next president of the United States, so he'll be returning back to the White House. Now, Trump was speaking to supporters in Florida yesterday, and he said this to those who voted for him.
We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that.
So Trump has 277 electoral votes, meaning that he passed the 270 votes needed to win the election. Harris currently has 224. Now, much of this is based on those 7 battleground states, which were Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. Now, Trump won the key battleground state of Wisconsin just moments ago, which has 10 electoral votes. That's what pushed Trump over the edge of 270. Now, this marks a number of firsts for the country, including Trump being the first person convicted of a felony to win the White House and the first former president to regain power since 1892. Now, Kamala Harris has yet to concede. Her campaign co-chair made the update last night at a watch party in Washington, D.C.
We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation.
Now we'll be waiting to hear more from Kamala Harris throughout the day, and also additional remarks from Donald Trump as he has been elected the President of the United States. For now, I'll send things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much, Simone. Closer to home, CHCH has learned that Hamilton's light rail transit system is a step closer to being built. It's a small step. The Ontario government is issuing a request to contractors for qualifications to lead construction of roads, bridges, sidewalks, and traffic signals along the 14-kilometre route. From that, the province will then announce a short list of candidates who will then be invited to submit proposals to do the work. 3 years ago, the federal and provincial governments announced they'll spend $3.4 billion for the LRT. There's no timeline, though, of when construction will be finished.
Ontario has announced it will be launching a new university nursing program for the first time in 20 years. The province says Carleton University will offer a direct entry 3-year Bachelor of Science in the nursing program starting next September. So it says the program will partner with the Queensway Carleton Hospital for hands-on training. Province says the first class of up to 110 nursing students will be ready to practice as registered nurses by 2029.
Our federal government's move to cut overall immigration levels by 20% next year is getting a cautious reaction from the head of the United Nations Refugee Agency. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, says Canada is still a global leader in resettlement, but he says he understands that pro-refugee sentiment is fragile, especially during an economic or a housing crisis, adding it would be, quote, really negative to see it destroyed.
Without good housing, integration is difficult or threatens social cohesion between people resident in Canada who are impacted by the housing crisis and people coming and competing for housing. So I think in these situations it is wise to put things in order, to stabilize, to consolidate, because otherwise you have high numbers coming, which is great in a global context, but could create problems, could create backlash locally.
So Canada's new immigration targets of a 20% reduction will cut the number of refugees granted permanent resident status by more than 14,000 next year. Reduction is even steeper for protected people in Canada and their dependents abroad. It's expected to drop by 31% from the government's previous plan.
An 8th-generation farming operation in Ancaster is winding down. The family that owns Lindley's Farm and Market on Findler's Green Road announced their retirement on social media. So the farm's market was built in 1980 and closed quietly last weekend. In their announcement, the Lindley family says they'll continue with Pick Your Own strawberries next year, but the market is closed permanently and their farmland is going to be rented. The Lindley family has been growing fruits and vegetables for more than 180 years.
There's been a heartwarming reunion in Fort Erie between a man and his dog. Oh, I love this story. That's Mike Naylor with his dog Minnie. 2 years ago, Naylor surrendered Minnie to the Humane Society of Greater Niagara because he was dealing with cancer and didn't feel that he could give her the care she deserved.
Quality of life was deteriorating with me because I could no longer care for her, and so I chose to do the unselfish thing and let her try to have a better life, because I couldn't take care of her.
So Minnie was initially placed in a boarding program at the Humane Society, which has since closed because of a lack of funding. Last year, she was taken in through a foster program, but neither Minnie nor Mike did well apart from each other. After his cancer went into remission last month, the two were reunited at the shelter. They're now happy together again. That's just the best.
Isn't it? And it's a very similar reaction to what we had when Brian walked into the newsroom this morning.
Yes, our tails were wagging.
It was like the exact same thing. It's just so good to have him back.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Sportsline. Let's get into it. Let's get into sports. Yeah, plenty of hockey for you in Sportsline. No NBA games because of what happened down south last night. So Maple Leafs, they hosted their rivals from Boston, trying to get their power play going, but would have to do it without Austin Matthews, who missed the game with an upper body injury.
Marner moves in, tries to find a lane, Swings that back to Riley. Long shot, scores! Posted in for Morgan Riley. Power play goal.
Turns out they don't need their best player on the power play. It was a well-oiled machine. Coming into the game, they had only scored 4 power play goals all season, good enough for the second worst in the league. They scored 3 last night, which will improve their standing there. Morgan Riley, Willie Nylander lit the lamp with an extra man, and Anthony Stolars, he was standing tall and once again in the Leafs net. The 6'6" tender used it all to make a couple of great saves like that one right there against the Bruins. Stolars made 29 saves for his first shutout of the season in the 4-0 win. Detroit, they come to town to kick off Hall of Fame weekend starting on Friday.
Be good as well. The shot is blocked. Played back to the point. McLeod gets it back again. Far circle. What time is scores?
No contest just down the QE in the Queen City. Sabres, they were not very nice house guests to the visiting Ottawa Senators. Buffalo's Owen Bryan and Tage Thompson scored 16 seconds apart in the third to break this one open and snap a 3-game slide as they would go on to beat the Sens 5-1.
Off the draw. Coronado is Backlund. Coronado overtime. Shoots, scores!
Ooh, that was quick. Calgary's Matt Coronado scored the OT winner 7 seconds into the extra frame in Montreal, which is the second quickest OT winner in history. All part of a big night for the Flames forward, who had tied the game to force some extra hockey with just over 2 minutes to go. Habs struggling right now. They've dropped 4 straight.
Niederreiter helps it get out. This is Lowry. He's got Mason Appleton. Niederreiter right in, scores!
How about those Winnipeg Jets? They have been far and away the class of the NHL to start the season, and they just continue to win. Last night, Niederreiter scored twice, best name in the NHL, to lift the Jets to a 3-0 win over the Utah Hockey Club, giving Connor Hellebuck his 39th career shutout. Winnipeg has won 12 of their first 13 games, becoming only the 6th team in history to have that kind of start. And finally, Forge FC is shipping off to Calgary this morning to get set for their 6th straight appearance in the Canadian Premier League final, looking for their 5th title. Saturday, when they battle their rivals Cavalry FC. They beat Forge 2 weeks ago to have the privilege of hosting the final, something the Hammers did last year. Fans are encouraged to gather outside Tim Hortons Field a little bit later this morning at 11:30 to send the lads off.
12 minutes after 6 o'clock, let's get you going into the 6th morning of November. It's a wet start to the morning here. We've had some showers. We're still getting some right now. Actually, some light rain. Looking at the 403 and Watertown Road, that is our camera. That's doing okay, although we do have a couple of collisions I can't show you. We don't have cameras there. 403 heading past the link, we have a collision. Nothing here at the Garden City Skyway. So coming out of Ancaster, trying to get into Hamilton, a collision, and a collision at Clapson's Corners. Highway 6 and Highway 5. Fairview Street getting fairly slow, heading toward Brant Street. Nothing at the Ford plant. And again, nothing but rain and a bit of volume here now at the QEW in Cawthra. But nothing as far as the QEW is concerned this morning except wet roads. Check our temperature right now. Look how mild this is to start the morning. Seasonal and for an overnight low to start the morning is 1. So we're sitting at 17 right now. We still have a wind, nowhere near as strong as it was yesterday. Southwest 31 to 44. So we do have the light rain, high relative humidity. For school today, 20 degrees. So again, way above seasonal. Bit of a wind. We'll have that shower activity for us this morning. Here's the radar picture. You can see the green is the precipitation. Now, it's a slim band. It's going to go through, and it'll end this morning as far as the precipitation is concerned, along with that cold front going through. But it's going to stay fairly cloudy for the day today. Mostly cloudy tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll get some clearing. We'll get some sunshine. It'll look a lot better. So today, temperatures mild, 19 and 20 degrees. That light rain shower this morning, and then just a fairly cloudy day. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Temperature stays mild, 7, 8, 9 degrees for tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll get some sunshine back. Temperature will be, yes, cooler, but still way above seasonal for the day. 13 to 14 degrees tomorrow, 12 for Guelph and Kitchener. So stepping out the door, 6th of November, we do have that light rain shower activity, but it is mild, 17 degrees. And we'll look at the long range forecast coming up at 10.
Thank you, Brian.
How does it feel? Everybody's back in place.
Yeah.
We got Brian back. We got Emily back. She's coming up after the break. We're going to check in what we're chit-chatting about today. Also in business news, an Ontario judge says $1 billion tobacco settlement can proceed. That and other business news in 2. Hey, friend.
Hi.
Only.
Hi.
How many hats you wearing today? I guess
Just
2.
one.
Or just one. And then your remotes that you did yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Well, 2,
good.
I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah, it's good to see Brian back. I'm glad he's back
Wonderful.
from Portugal. And you know what? I got sick when I came back from Portugal, too. So.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
You know.
What you got today?
Whew. Lady Gaga coming out with a new album. I know
Right.
a lot of fans have been anticipating this for a long time. We're also going to be talking about Taylor Swift tickets. Apparently Ticketmaster's just like throwing out a couple more, so fans are battling.
Yes, we knew that was going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Taylor Swift every day until the concerts, which are happening like just
Well,
over a week?
Regardless of what happened in the South last night, I still think that Taylor Swift is the most powerful person in the world. So chances are good, yes.
Well, it's good. Like we're tackling all that happened down south in the news. Then we're in chit chat. We're going to talk about other stuff.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Okay, cool. We'll see you in a bit.
It's kind of a refresher.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into business news on this Wednesday morning. Because let's take a look at what's going on there. Canadian dollar is down 25 basis points. Trading back below 72 cents U.S. Gold down over $17, 27.32.30. Crude oil, it's down $1.31, 70.68 a barrel. Off to Europe we go. Hey, Europe, how you feeling? Markets, well, they're up across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia today, the markets shot up in Tokyo. Look at that, 1,000 points up. But they were down slightly, relatively, in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Now, North American markets yesterday, the TSX closed up 131 points. The Dow was up by more than 400, and the NASDAQ closed 259 points higher.
All right, glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning, November the 6th. Let's get into some business news. Let's start in Ontario because the judge says any outstanding issues regarding a proposed $52.5 billion settlement between 3 major tobacco companies and their creditors should be solvable in the coming months. So the judge released his reasons for approving a motion last week to have representatives for creditors review and vote on the proposal in December. One of those companies, JTI McDonald, said last week it objects to the plan in its current form and asked the court to postpone scheduling the vote until several issues were resolved. The proposal includes $24 billion for provinces and territories seeking to recover smoking-related health care costs and about $6 billion for smokers across Canada and their loved ones.
The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says it's presented another pair of offers to Canada Post to try to prevent a strike or lockout. The union's new offers ask for a total of 22% in wage gains over 4 years. This is for urban, rural, and suburban postal workers. They have voted in favor of a strike if a deal can't be reached. Now, a cooling off period in the talks ended on Saturday, but so far the union hasn't given notice of intent to strike, and Canada Post hasn't given notice of intent to lock out.
Okay, a lot going on this Wednesday, including outside, a little bit of rain. Brian's going to have a look at that and what you can expect into the weekend when we come back.
Good morning, 6:23 on this wet Wednesday morning. As you can see here, the Garden City Skyway West, you can see the rain going past the light standard there, so it's raining fairly heavily right there. Very slow at the top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, just volume building in this area. Appleby Line still looks okay, no problems at Sheraton. Flip ahead to the 403 at Burnham Thorpe. That's doing all right at the moment. And good news, the 403 at the Link going eastbound or coming out of Ancaster, trying to get to Hamilton. That collision has now cleared. Look at these temperatures to start the morning. I know there's a fair bit of a breeze. It's gusting to about 44 kilometers an hour, but 17 for Hamilton, Grimsby, Mississauga. Toronto's a bit cooler because they're getting the wind coming right off the lake, a southwest wind. That's keeping them at 14 this morning, but still really mild. Those are our seasonals. 9 for the daytime high, +1 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times and records for today. And yeah, there'll be some light rain shower activity this morning, and then it's going to start to, well, it won't clear up really. It'll just stay fairly cloudy. 17 for the first bell for school today, 18 for after school. Maybe a little bit of sunshine, you know, could get a glimmer or two, but that's how it looks for the day today, cloudy and 20. 8 for the overnight tonight, staying mild. 13 tomorrow, a bit cooler, but still way above seasonal. Sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday we get chance of a shower. Remembrance Day Monday looks to be fairly nice, actually. 10-degree high and some sunshine. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
All right, thanks, Brian. There's been a rare birth at the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland.
Say hello to little Haggis, a pygmy hippo calf. She was born at the zoo just last week. Pygmy hippos are native to West Africa and Liberia, but they're endangered. Only about 2,500 exist today. Zoo officials say the first 30 days are pretty critical for the hippo's development, and so the zoo is going to closely monitor little Haggis over the next few weeks. So cute.
The zoo was saying hip, hip, hooray.
Hippo, hippo, hooray?
Hip, hip, hooray.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, be hippie.
I'm looking over to see if you've got hippo puns on your Googler.
Comes from the melon.
Yeah, okay. We've got lots more to come. Stay with us.